Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in. Right? Yes, this is the post Tone Talk stream, I guess. For those of you that caught it, Mr. Z called into Tone Talks. Um, Tone Talks was speaking about the Tia Mowry situation, and the Tyler Perry situation. There we go. How did Mr. Z forget? So he covered the Tia Mowry and how she's, responding on the interwebs, um, right? And the comments under her video, and how how certain black women are responding and saying, there's pee in the dating pool, et cetera, right? Um, and y'all know Tone talks with the numbers and whatnot. Um, let's be very clear. Tone came with the numbers today, of course, obviously, right? The data, obviously, and what it costs to date. So somebody's been lying. Dear black women, we knew you were lying. Dear women, we knew you were lying. So what the average date right now? The men are spending what, $130, right? $130 on dates a month. Somebody's been lying about going on these dates with these white dudes, and they spending $250 a date. Uh-oh. Somebody's been lying. Where you at, Chrissy? Where you at, Yanni? Where you at, Lexus Exodus? Uh-oh. Where you at, Mahogany Pink? Somebody's been lying. Train tracks, train tracks, train tracks. Somebody's been lying about the hypergamy. Uh-oh. Just date out, right, Yanni? No, Yanni, sorry. Not so much you, but definitely Chrissy. Just date out, right? Yeah, that's it. Oh, look at that. So, the thing that really got me is Tone saying love has a price. And going through the numbers of what it's costing to maintain these relationships in the 21st century, especially with, women, black women, namely, and their hypergamous mentality, especially what they are espousing online, excuse me. So maybe they're not actually living it. I'm really leaning to black women doing a whole lot of talking on the internet, and they not living that life, or even really trying to aspire to live their life. They just doing the whole sister girl rah 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 thing on the internet, but that's not really what they about in real life, right? So Tone goes through withering detail. We already know, you know, according to the American Enterprise Institute, 26% of poor Americans are married, 39% of middle class, 56% of upper middle class. And that was as of what was it, 2017 or 2018? So we know those numbers are way different now, right? Not even, let's not say way different, but all of those numbers have decreased. But we know the people that do get married and tend to stay married, or are more likely to stay married, are upper middle class and above Americans, right? Are the ones that tend to get married and stay married, right? Or they're less likely to get divorced. They're more likely to stay married. So we have turned marriage more into an elite institution, right? And women of color, black women namely, have not made that any easier on anyone, including themselves, right? Including themselves, right? So that's the real. So there was a black woman that called after me, and she spoke about loyalty, right? And she spoke about one of the issues that she felt that women were trying to convey to Tyler Perry, which, when somebody's really grasping at straws and they're really trying to extrapolate something that was not said, was not implied, has nothing to do with anything, but they just want to say it just to say it. That's what this lady engaged in. But either way, so what she was saying was, One thing that Tyler Perry misses, and that black women were trying to say, is that black women don't want to build with a black man and then have that black man leave, right? So in other words, leave as in leave them for a white woman, really. Leave them for another woman, namely a white woman. And and she spoke about loyalty, black men not being loyal. Now, the comments lit her ass up, rightfully so, and spoke to, well, that black man that's spending $200 on a date, right? Do you owe him your loyalty? He spent $200 on a date. Right now, she started equivocating. Exactly. Exactly. Number one. Number two, Tone's immediate response was the best one. That's what comes with egalitarianism. Ladies. And to Antonio Moore, attorney Antonio Moore, I say these women want egalitarianism, but they want guarantees simultaneously. They're risk averse. That's my whole point. They don't actually want egalitarianism. They want egalitarianism in theory only. They really want the guarantee. They want to date guaranteed to end up with the baller dude. The baller dude guaranteed to pay the mortgage. Right? That's what the whole God type of issues another person, a man, would have to deal with. But off chance you might get into an altercation with someone. Someone might bark on you. Someone might make you feel insecure, make you feel ugly, or not even make you feel, but might inspire that feeling in you. They want guarantees, but they want egalitarianism. They don't actually want egalitarianism. They don't actually want a free and open society. They want a society that has bubble wrap around it for women and girls. Men, you can live out there reckless and whatever. But for the women and girls, we want bubble wrap around the entire society for them. They never get harmed. They never get hurt. They never have to experience nothing. Nothing violent, nothing harmful, nothing severe or hurtful or anything like that. Leave that for the men and the boys. Right? A society full of guardrails for women. You know the guardrails when you blow it? For the amateurs that don't want the ball to go in the gutter? Bubble wrap for women. That's what these women are talking about. So a woman could feel a certain type of way in a date and throw water in your face, and you just got to eat that. She could get up and go ghost on you. You just got to eat that. And like Tone Talk said, he could spend that $200 on you, right? A man could spend $200 on a date and call her the next day, and she could just ghost him. He got to eat that. But she want that he could never leave her, especially not for no damn white woman. Goddamn black. This obsession with white womanhood, Jesus Christ. This obsession with white womanhood. Right? So they want guardrails, and excuse me for the loud background and the fact that I'm shouting more than usual, because guess what it's doing again in South Florida. Welcome to South Florida. Swamp, y'all go ahead and put y'all swamp jokes and right, Everglade jokes and hurricane jokes in the comments, because yes, it is raining. Of course it's raining, and thundering and lightning, of course. Right? It's always raining in South Florida, especially during summertime. Right? But continuing. So, and Mr. Z is going to make a stop, so I am going to put y'all on the Mr. Z hold for a minute, because Mr. Z is going to snack on some Jamaican patties tonight. So I'm trying to make sure that I get to Golden Crust before close, and hopefully they still have spicy patties. So y'all already know. But continuing, anyway, for now, at least, yeah, so these people want guardrails on their life. Right? They want guardrails. So, I'm responding to all black people that kind of sort of don't get it. The black women we're speaking about, not all, now it's debatable whether it's most, but maybe not all, understand something. They're not looking for love. They're barely even looking for stability. They're looking for opulence and extravagance. And like I said to Tone Talks, you know, we need to update. Shout out to Jason Black. We need to update our lexicon. He doesn't usually say it like that, but I'm saying that we need to update our lexicon when we speak about these black relationships. Black women are not doing the whole black love, black relationship thing, right? They're really speaking about, you know, they're really using white men and interracial marriage and dating non-black men and potentially ending up with a non-black man as the escape hatch, right? And like I said to Tone, yes, I'm using Yvette Carnell's term, but when y'all speak about, and you know, to all the black people that are not in the mix of the black men, black women back and forth online, y'all don't really get it. Black women ain't talking about black love, right? Right? Black women are being very clear. Hysterical, Chief Rocker. Chief Rocker says, Carol City Cricket Wireless, hysterical. If you ain't here, there ain't no more Carol City player. It's Miami Gardens. Right? That was hysterical.
Weather alert. Special
wait for the car. Wait.
Around current location.
Special marine warning around current location. Once again, my car is warning me that it is South Florida, in South Florida. Right? So, you know, back to the conversation. I want to be very clear. When we speak about black relationships and black intimacy and potentially black women sounding delusional or living vicariously through black female celebrities or listening to people like Tyler Perry and ranting and raving because of what Tyler Perry said, be very clear. In black women's minds, the escape hatch is non-black men, particularly white men, right? And we have to be very clear about that. I think that Tone, oh crap, the light just turned green. I was about to read my damn quote that Tone Talk said. But you know, we when we speak about this, we have to be more clear about this. Because it's as if, you know, some of the elders, when they speak about this black love thing, which Mr. Lee does believe exists, I just want to be clear. When the elders speak, they're not really hitting on all cylinders because they don't really take into account that black women, especially younger black women under the age of 40 online, the escape hatch is white men. The escape hatch is white men. I don't know if y'all heard me just now. Okay, I might have lagged out for a second. But yeah, the escape hatch is white men. Non-black men, but namely white men. Right? And so when we speak about black men and these relationships, understand black women always reserve the right to be like, oh, well, I got to deal with black struggle. I don't know what you're talking about, Tone. Black men are the anchor. I'm going to opt out by dating out. Right? And this is not about character flaw. The beauty of what we're hearing on the internet nowadays is that black women are being very clear. This is less about character flaw and more about resources and resource acquisition and resource hoarding. And excuse my language, stun on these hoes and conspicuous consumption and nice things. Right? They're not even looking for stability anymore. That's too basic. Right? That's for little people. Right? So the quote that Tone said was, and this is Tone kind of responding to black women in general, but he wasn't being aggressive. He wasn't being, you know, mean or mean-spirited. But, you know, this was the general statement. And he said, the billionaire just told us, I just hope you're ready to be humbled when it's your turn. They just focus on black men. That don't mean they finish with them. Right? Once again, the billionaire just told us, I just hope you're ready to be humbled when it's your turn. They just focused on black men. And when you hear focus, you mean focus on black men right now. Right? That don't mean they finished with them. And when Tone said that, I don't think that the black women that are listening right? I'm guessing Tone probably his black female viewership is probably 20-ish%, maybe 15-ish%. I doubt it's a third or more. I doubt it, right? But let's say it is. Let's say Mr. Z is wrong and it's 40%. I know it ain't half. I don't think those women really understand what Tone just said, right? Tyler Perry is telling you it's about to get real ugly, ladies. And you might want to get your mind right. Now, when I called in, my last comment was the wealth cap is going to increase because not only are white folks getting this insane, and white millennials going to get this insane inheritance money, and mainly for the top 20 or so, 25%. But either way, not only are they going to get this insane amount of inheritance, but their marriage rate is higher. So you're going to have single black people barely surviving, about to get drowned by boomer money going down to their millennial children. Right? It's about to look ugly. And Bruce on Wayne, Batman says, Mr. Z live uncle. In other words, I'm live again. Z yeah. Okay, you didn't. I died after that, Bruce. Everything after the period. Okay, Zipa lage madam yo mim. In other words, I don't let the women go at all. Okay, I got it. Exhibit A, Mr. Z's Creole is trash. Right? Mr. Z's Creole is trash, but I was able to figure it out. So in other words, Bruce is saying, I'm live again and I don't let the women go for nothing. Right? So, and yeah, so, speaking to that, even though Tone came with the data, and the reason why you don't see I have link in the description or anything like that is because y'all know how Tone usually does it. He takes it down, he edits it, he puts up the clippings of the news article he's referencing or the bar graph or whatever he's referencing, and then he reposts, right? But yeah, so that happened, and yeah, right. So we are going to see more of these stories as your average black woman lives vicariously through a Tia Mowry, through a Ebony K. Williams, right? As they live vicariously through these people. We're going to see more of this kind of talk, this kind of weirdo stuff for black women who on average are earning $36,000 a year. Right? And this is Mr. Z's estimation, they're going to sound even more delusional. I think this gets a whole lot worse before it gets better. I think a preponderance of black women, I'm not going to put a number on it, I'm not going to say majority or minority, I will say a preponderance of black women are going to be damn near clinically insane. They're going to sound damn near clinically insane, especially when that boomer money really starts to hit their white millennial children. Right? When that boomer money starts to really hit for us as millennials, as we get into our mid 40s, late 40s, younger millennial, Gen Z, older Gen Z, younger, they are going to be screaming. Black women are going. I think that we haven't. I don't even think this is I think this is like the beginning of the insanity, to be frank with you. I know we hear the gender wars ended, maybe, but in Mr. Z's estimation, I think the rhetoric is going to ratchet up. I think they're going to sound even crazier. Because they're not doing the math, and they don't care to do the math. They don't know, they don't care, they don't care to know. All they're gonna do is feel that $16 trillion being handed over the next decade to mainly white millennials. And that's just the next decade. That's not the next 2 decades, right? You imagine when your average car price, because right now your average new car is what, $48,000? When that average new car price is 65, 70 grand, right? Because millennials can afford it, white millennials, and older Gen Z can afford it. When white older Gen Z and white older mid millennials can afford it, and you have a 47-year-old black millennial woman who's been dreaming about this Benz, whatever the hell, or Beamer, whatever the hell, for a couple decades, and she can't touch one, at least not new, right? I don't know. I think they sound even crazier, right? And as I said to Tone Talks, that white man's escape hatch. You think Chisel Chin Brad is beating him off with a stick now? I would love to see if Jennifer Lundquist. I would love to see Jennifer Lundquist, Dr. Jennifer Lundquist, and Dr. Chantel Buggs do their research again in another decade. Because if they think women of color are chasing after white dudes now, wait another decade, right? And Chief Frog of Facts, I think the average used car price is what, 33, 35,000, something like that, something along those lines, right? All right, y'all. Y'all remember Mr. Z said he was gonna try to get to Golden Crust and hurry up and run inside and try to get this. So y'all bear with. I will be back in a couple, right? Let me go run inside and try to get this real quick. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. I'll read the super chats when I get back if there's any super chats. Right? I'm gonna start doing the speed talking. I'm gonna try to get my Ben Shapiro on, right? We're gonna start trying to do that. But y'all bear with me and I will be right back. Give Mr. Z a minute. Talk amongst yourselves. And we're back. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for that. Let's see. What Mr. Z miss? What Mr. Z miss? Let's see. We're going through the comments. Love that chicken from Popeye. It's not Popeyes. I went to Golden Crust. I got me a couple of Jamaican patties. Right. So then a snack on. I don't want to eat anything too heavy tonight. Right. Yeah, I know Mr. Z be working overnight. Right. And the Roger Report says, shout out to the Roger Report. Right. My partner in crime. Those average car prices he quoted sound a little high for average prices. Yo, but don't they? No, but they're real though. Raj, it's real. It's real. I think it's like $48,000 for the average new car price or something like that. If I'm not mistaken, I think the average monthly car payment, and somebody, we don't have no problem correcting Z live on air. Somebody look it up. Look up the average monthly car payment. I think it's somewhere around $750. And I think about 1/3 of car monthly payments, maybe 20%, but I think it's a third, are like $1,000 a month or something like that, right? And the Roger Report says, just don't think I'm paying those prices for just anything. Me too. Me too. I wouldn't. It better be nice, super nice, right? Sachi said 26,651 used cars for the average used car. I thought it was 30. Okay, 725. So yes, okay, boom, there we go. Yeah, I was right about that. Okay, Sauchi, then I was wrong about the car thing. Right? Yeah, for new car, exactly, 725. So I was $25 off. Oh, I was on it. I was in the ballpark. Good stuff. Hey, Mr. Z, you're not 100% wrong on that. And Sauchi says 26,000. Why did I hear 35,000 and 516 used? God, 500, almost halfway to $1,000 for used cars. Ah, promise you they're trying to choke us out. I promise you. Right? But hey, wait a minute. Let me say this. For all the people that used to, I'm gonna go back all the way to college days, right? Um, for all the people that know Z in real life, does Z sound like a conspiracy theorist now? Uh-oh. When the Australian 100 millionaire guy just exposed how they talk behind the scenes about choking us out and making us know who's boss, does Z sound like a conspiracy theorist now? Right? Yeah, those people only care about money. They're not worried about all that other stuff you talking about, Z. Yeah, that guy just told you screw the money, it's about power. We gotta choke these other people out. These regular workers need to know who's boss. Right? They need to know who run things. And they're talking about you. They're talking about Z. Uh-oh. Right? Meanwhile, black women over here talking about colorism. Anyway, right? So shout out to Tone, and Tone Talks played that clip, you know. And Sauchi, we're gonna have to cover that. Well, I might do a stream. We'll talk. We'll talk. Sauchi, check my email out. We'll talk. We're gonna talk about this. We might have to get real depressing real quick. Better you could come up too. Well, the Raj Report. Better you. I'll put the date in. We'll just get in a group email and we'll figure it out where we can all do this stream, right? Because look, if we're gonna have a real conversation about black men and stepping up in six figures and being some kind of stable, then we first got to talk about where we are financially before we can even start talking about moving in a certain direction. And as I've been saying for the longest, and as I've been presenting for the longest, one of the fundamental problems that the black community, at least in my estimation, has, it's not just the black man, black woman thing. I think we have a very delusional concept of where we are before we can even start moving in a certain direction. And I mean that both with our positives and our negatives. right? I think we have a very delusional concept of where we are financially, where other people and other groups are financially. I think when you start asking the average American about the average home price, they don't know. Let alone your average Black American, they don't know. Car price, they don't know. What it actually costs to fund their life, they don't know. I remember listening to a Rick Ross song, and I think he said it cost $250,000. I can't remember what he said it cost to fund his life, I think monthly or something like that, right? I don't know if your average American has ever budgeted for real, let alone your average Black American, let alone your average Black woman, Jesus Christ, and really know what their life cost. And then also, very importantly, because they're asking us to pay for everything as Black men, what it would cost to fund them, what it would cost to fund them as they are now, and what it would cost to fund them with their aspirational thinking. So what their life costs now, and then what their life would cost if they had the type of man they were demanding and the lifestyle they were demanding. Right? If love has a cost, if love has a price, all right then, let's put a price on what Black women are talking about. And rest in peace to Kevin Samuels. Yeah, where he would be like, oh, you want that lifestyle? Okay, let's calculate. And shout out to the Roger Report. The Roger Report is one of the first brothers to say, wait a minute, they're not talking about $100,000. They're talking about millions. They're saying six figures because they can't conceptualize the fact that they're actually talking about millions. The lifestyle they're talking about is millions. I didn't say a million. I said millions. Right? Dear Black women, y'all don't even know, I said it before, y'all don't even know what the average American is living. Even the average white man. Y'all don't know. If I gave you the average white man right now, you'd be like, okay, wait a minute. I thought he had something. He don't got nothing. He don't have anything. You know who have something? His parents do. That's why he's waiting for them to die. Right? And he definitely don't have what you think he has. That's for sure. Right? And shout out to you, Passport OG. I literally just checked out your video a minute ago. And Passport OG go play a clip from the 90s of the ladies on the talk shows, and it was both white and Black women sounding absolutely insane 30 years ago. You thought they changed? Wait a minute. For all you younger brothers, all you Gen Z, wait, you thought this was new? This ain't new. Extra brothers, boomers, older millennials could tell you they've been sounding this crazy. Although I will say they might sound a little bit crazier now that they're on social media and they're encouraging themselves to sound even crazier, right? Thank you, the Raj Report. Collectively, we're broke, right? And y'all realize that amongst the Black manosphere, most of us, I would argue, most of us are on the north side of where Black men's average income is. And yet we're more honest about our financial situation than these other people, and we don't sound this delusional, and they do. How the hell? Right? Let me say what Tone said again. The billionaire just told us, I just hope you're ready to be humbled when it's your turn. He's talking to Black women. Dear Black women, right? They just focused on Black men. That don't mean they finish with them. Right? Lupe Fiasco had a shout out to Raj, one of your Chicago natives, had a line in one of his songs where he said, they're going to come for you as soon as they're done with mine. Right? Dear Black women, For all of you that think somehow you're gonna survive the Titanic sinking while black men drown. Okay, we'll see. Hey, when I say y'all don't got no choice, I meant it. Right? This is why I love Rush. Rush said these hoes better. We're using profanity. Screw it. The Roger report says these hoes better fit in my budget. If they can't, f them. I just wanted y'all to know Raj is one of the realest people in the black manosphere. I'm telling you, right? And I agree. By the way, and I agree. It's absolute insanity. You know, I gotta channel Abba again. This is a sickness. This money talk really shows you the delusion, the insanity, the absolute materialism and consumerism of women, namely black women, right? Namely American women. Let's go through that. Women, Western women, right? Then black women in America, like it just shows you like the absolute insanity, right? What haha Davis says, who made you like this? Hey, Raj, you remember when you said psycho crack? But that was over a year ago? That's really what it is. That's really what it is. Too much commercials, too much consumerism. Now social media, now they talking hypergamy and lifestyle, and they're in their echo chambers just regurgitating this shit to each other over and over again. Oh, it was okay. TK Kirkland, thank you, Toya. Who raised you? Yeah, exactly. Right? And they're regurgitating this to each other over and over again. It would have been one thing if your average black woman was just kicking ass like that. We're not talking about the Ebony K. Williams and the Kim Fosters. No. If your average black woman threw black men under the bus and they had something to show for it, that would be a different conversation. It would still be absolutely reprehensible. But at least you could be like, all right, y'all threw us under the bus, but y'all at least got something to show for it, and y'all done raised the kids right. So, all right, 1 or 2 generations of black men just got to deal with this big, heavy, how many 1,000-pound bus on our back. But at least the kids benefited. Y'all can't even show that. If you could show us all of these, well-to-do, kick-ass black women, who dated and mated with non-black men and they got something to show for it. Not that either. All these same-sex loving black women who's kicking ass financially, got something to show for it. Well, they might be kicking ass, but not figuratively. Uh-oh. Right? And Sauchi says, married men earn roughly 38% more than single men. Average peak earnings occur at 46 years old for married men and 48 years old for single men. Sauchi, better use in the comments. Let Better You tell you his story. Better You, let me say the story real quick. Again, Sauchi. Homegirls out here, black women are out here in their 20s dating dudes that earn $75,000 a year in their 20s and saying that's not good enough. And these are the people that Dr. Umar Johnson wants you to marry and make a good, honest woman out of. Talking like this. All right. Raj. The Raj report says kicking or licking? Question mark. I guess they doing both. I guess after you kick, you gotta make up, so you gotta lick, something like that, right? Something along those lines. I guess on that part of Baby Boy, it was really them portraying, I guess, a black woman same sex loving relationship. The backhand and then the let me make up for it by going down on her type thing. Yeah, something along those lines, I guess. Right. And Lithium says, and thank you for the super chat. I consider myself an older millennial culturally. I was born in '89, and my sister's born in '78 through '85. Right, my sisters are born through '78 to '85. This stuff has been said since the '90s. If you speak to Dr. T and BGS and Dr. Green Gorilla and Dr. Ron O'Neill, et cetera, yeah, since the '80s. It really ramped up in the '80s, right? Oh, and Black Uru, yeah. All the elders I'm hearing from since the '80s, even the elders born in the '60s and the '70s are saying the '80s is when it really got insane, right? So, yeah, I think the '90s is when it culminated, right? So the crazy books that were written maybe in the late '70s and the '80s, they made movies of them in the '80s and the '90s, right? So yeah, it's absolute insanity, bro. Absolute positive insanity. And what makes the Black Manosphere special, we'll say it, it's a magical place. Special is that we have these conversations, right? The money talk, not the insane aspirational money talk. And Mr. Z is not against aspirations. I mean, how do you wake up in the morning if you don't have something you're working towards and you're trying to maintain while also you have aspirations? This is not about anti-aspirationalism. This is about toxic aspirationalism and delusion, right? Insanity. That's what we're speaking about. That's what we're speaking about. And even when Tone was speaking to that lady, she still found a way to say, well, what Tyler doesn't understand is, what about black loyalty? She said loyalty. In other words, black women don't want to build a black man up and then he leave her, and ran in the undertone of what she was saying, leave her for a white woman. Jesus Christ, if y'all don't let go of waiting to excel narratives. Oh my God. These waiting to excel narratives. Oh, this movie came out damn near 30 years ago, and black women are still speaking like this is a waiting to excel movie. Yeah, we're going to build them up, and they're going to leave us for white women. Jesus Christ. So black men are destined to be bums and dusties, and the ones that aren't, and the ones that you build with as a black woman, they're going to reach a level and they're just going to leave you for a white woman. Jeez. And Toya says, well, then what can we cling to, if not our high school dreams and waiting to excel tropes? Look, hey, Toya, you heard it. Yanni, 31 years old, referring to high school stuff. Kim Foster, 34 years old, referring to high school stuff. I don't know how old Khadijah is, referring to high school stuff. Right? Oh, Stefko, approaching 40, referring to high school stuff. When Will Smith slapped Chris Rock, I smiled. Because it reminded me of all the not even high school. I said high school, sorry for Stefko is elementary school. Mm-hmm. Frightening. Absolutely frightening. Meanwhile, in the Black Manosphere, and I'm gonna probably cover this again tomorrow when Tone finally edits his stuff, and then we'll go over it again and highlight certain segments, right? In the Black Manosphere, we're talking about the money. Like I said, we have so many channels, right? Alonzo Hall, Code Breakers, all these people talking politics and money. The Black Brain Trust, politics and money. The report, the Roger Report, history, politics, money, sports. Mr. Z, everything. All right, cars, politics, history, Black gender dynamics. And Tone made a very good point also. He's using this relationship talk to drag Black people kicking and screaming to talking about the money. He said it. If this is where y'all at, fine. Because all y'all want to talk about is gossipy stuff, women, and living vicariously through these Black celebrities in their relationships or lack thereof, in their dysfunction. Fine. Gotta lie to you, gotta make it sound fly to you. All right. Mr. Shook to you. The Al Bundy. And Mr. Shook to you says, well, Al Bundy did score 4 touchdowns for Polk High in '66. How can anyone forget about that? Or excuse me. How can anyone live that down? Excuse me, live that down. Mr. Z reading this like I think I know what I'm saying. Anyway, right? And really, these people are they are going back down to like these weirdo high school tropes. Gee, listen, really? So, when Tone said love has a price, I was like, oh, there go the title. There go the title for Mr. Z's video. There we go, right there. Right? And it's very interesting, the lady that called after me and the way the comments responded to her, the way Tone responded to her. This is what comes with egalitarianism. Because women in general, Black women specifically, want this society to be wrapped with bubble wrap for them. They're risk averse as hell. They don't want life's risk to hit them. Men understand you walk out that door, you could be robbed. Something very, very negative could happen to you. It's a risk you take every time you walk out that door. When you go on a date, she doesn't guarantee you nothing. The 40, the 50, the 100, the 120, the $200 you spent on that date does not mean she's going to answer that call when you call her the next morning. That's a risk. You might have spent $200, and at the end of the day, she throw water in your face. It is very possible. I told y'all, Mr. Z don't got a problem saying it. Listen to all you Gen Z and young millennials. Mr. Z once spent $400+ on a date and got nothing at the end of the night. Now, did I eventually smash? Yes. But that night, nope. Was that our first date? No, it wasn't our first date. No. I've said this on the Roger Report before. I have no problem embarrassing myself. That was years ago. That was what? Was that a decade ago? Yeah, that was like a decade ago. You know those three, the month where you got 3 pay periods? It was one of those. I could have spent that money on something else. On the Z. Well, I didn't have a Z back then. I gotta spend that on something else, right? Was Mr. Z disappointed? Of course he was. Did I try to grape the girl? No, it's a risk you take. It's a risk you take. So what black women, no struggle love. Oh, that's why y'all talking no struggle love. Oh, because you're afraid what you gonna build with a black man and then he gonna Angela Bassett husband on Waiting to Excel leave your ass for the white woman? What you gonna burn the clothes in the car in the Beamer? Stop. Right? Michael Ross said, laughing, you were feeling generous because of that extra check. Yeah, it was a really nice restaurant. It was a 5-star restaurant. It was a dope. It was across, Mr. Z lives in Miami-Dade County. It was at the time, I don't know if that restaurant even still exists. It was in a high rise across the street from Bayside and Heat Stadium. Yeah. Yeah, Mr. Z came out the pocket on that one. And that was, by the way, that was just the dinner. That wasn't everything else. Because we end up going to a club afterward. Oh, Mr. Z spent a whole lot that day. Nothing. Okay. Got zilch nada at the end of the night. Guess what? That's what comes with it. That's what comes with dating. She caught Mr. Z slipping that night. Oh, well. Thank you, Michael Ross. Downtown Miami. You already know. You already know. Michael Ross looked like he'd been here before. Right? That's what comes with it. That's the risk. You have all these risk-averse women, and here's the kicker, but y'all still giving the vagina up to some man for nothing. Uh-oh. Some man is knocking it out the park for nothing. Wait, Mr. Z, you still messing up. Some man is knocking it out the park and you're paying him. Ooh. You just put gas in his car for him to drive to your house. Wait a minute. You just drove to his place. Yikes. No, it was a date, Tro. It was a date. Right? And John Jones says target. Right? And thank you for the super chat, John Jones. And this is just what it is. But we have these people who claim they want an egalitarian society, but they're risk averse as hell. They want guarantee. You want guarantees in this America. You want the world to be surrounded with bubble wrap for black girls and women. Guarantees. I don't know about a couple bands. And Lion says Z had a couple bands to play with that night. I don't know about that. This ain't the 80s, and I don't roll with Griselda. I ain't Cuban. Right? And Common says, and the passport bros are hated by you. Wow. Oh no, I don't hate the passport bros. I'm just telling them there ain't no guarantees. And this is spreading. Right? Right? You too can be infected by American materialism, consumerism, and delusional women. You too. I would just like to say, gender studies. What was it called? That they're trying to spend what? It was $20 million. Now it's what, $200 million for gender studies in Pakistan or something along those lines. You see what Passport OG says? Oh, it's spreading trust. And that's what I was saying, Calvin. Passport OG, maybe you need to tell Calvin where you are on the planet right now. If you think Western women are going to leave South Asia, East Asia, Latin America, the continent untouched, you got another thing coming. If you think they're going to leave these regions untouched, you know what I didn't mention yet? The Middle East. You think the Middle East will be the last holdout and they're still going to fall if we don't get this correct pretty much now. Right? And Lion says it was never about guarantees, it was about mitigation. And now they don't even want to mitigate. They don't want mitigating circumstance. They don't want the, what's the best way to say it? Not stability anymore. Now it's extravagance and they want it guaranteed. Somehow magically, I said it before, they want the corner office job and somehow magically the men that they date are only men that are investors or that are part of the board and that can elevate them even higher from being the lead attorney in the corner office. Calvin says, I'm in Thailand right now, miss me. All right, TikTok. Right. The Rush report says we've all done something stupid when it comes to these hoes. You know what's funny? My like super, rest in peace, my super swagged cousin from New York, he said the same thing, Raj. He was like, Z, man, we done all done it. He said, we done all, he pretty much said the same thing the Raj report just said. We've all done it. We've all done it. Right? So it may not be money, but we've all done that really dumb, reckless thing. Right? For the ladies, we'll say that. Uh-oh. Lion says most of these girls can't afford where they live. And that's one of the most open kept secrets. Right? And the D-Hive says that's why dudes have an issue with the whole quote unquote self-improvement combo. Not because of laziness, but because we know these birds will demand wealth while sleeping with dudes that don't have it. I encourage brothers to still do the best they can with their life. What I also say is, in our current environment, that does not necessarily guarantee you companionship, love, relationship with women in general, but black women specifically. And I think that's something that we're going to have to get okay with. But here's the very important, crucial part. That is something that black women are going to have to get okay with, black men being okay with. Black men who no longer do anything for the express, if y'all want to play this game, then we could play it. Black men that no longer do anything for the express pleasure of black women, they're not ready for that world. And I think they need to get ready. They think that's the world they're living in now. Now, once again, let me be very clear. This is not sustainable. Y'all know Mr. Z's quotes. I'm not even advocating for this so much as saying this is what it is when you push black men, to a certain extent. This is going to be the outcome, whether I advocate for it or not. With every action is an equal and opposite reaction. Uh-oh. Right? I like this one better, you. And better you says, that's facts. You live and you learn. Dot, dot, dot. And if you toxic, you spin the block. Oh, man. Billy says, drove in a few snowstorms for the yum yum. Hey, we all, look, we all got somehow. We all done been reckless somehow. Living on the edge somehow. Right? Mr. Z. And I say that story to let the younger brothers know, Mr. Z not above it. I am not above it. Right? Mr. Z done simped. Oh, hell yeah, Mr. Z done simped. And at one point simped and had nothing to show for it. Oh yeah, you better believe it. Oh, it's happened. And yet Mr. Z doesn't sound like these women going back to goddamn high school. High school! Even more frightening. Maybe even middle school? Maybe even middle school? Maybe it's because for the most part, black men know, that women don't owe us anything. They definitely made sure we know it. Black women don't owe us anything. Should they? In America, yes. But they made it very clear they don't owe us anything. And maybe that's why, for the most part, black men are not scorched earth because we got our little heart broken in high school. Because maybe we weren't the most desirable person in the world in high school. And let's be very clear. Y'all remember one of those clips? Yanni said, you know who needed a hug? 16-year-old me. And a brother in those comments, not in those comments, a brother responded in my comments that saw the picture that she referred to when she said 16-year-old me. Oh, I would have talked to her. In other words, Yanni, you probably were overlooking the brothers in high school that actually found you attractive at 16. But you still going, you know who needed a hug? 16-year-old me. Oh boy. Right? And y'all give Mr. Z a minute. Y'all talk amongst yourselves. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Better you did not say sympnosis. Oh, you heard it here first. Put it in the book. Put it in the book. And better you says everyone been under hypnosis at some point. Hysterical. My God. Put it in the book. Wow. Oh, of course, Mrs. Z forgot his keys. Okay, wait a minute. We got to double back. Give me a second. Right. Yeah, but it just comes with the territory. Shout out to Tone again. Like I said, we might be covering this again tomorrow morning, depending on when he posts this or post the video up. I'm gonna link that in the description when he posts it, so y'all will see the title edited and say link in the description later on. But yeah, and it's important because I do think we need to know where we are financially before we can truly move forward. That and not in a delusional way. Important, right? But not only is it important, just for intimate relationships, but it's important that Black people aren't. I don't think Black people have the luxury of being delusional, right? I don't think that Black people do not have the luxury of being delusional. Dear Black women, you don't even have the luxury of being delusional, as evidenced by your own life. Goddamn. You don't have the luxury, unfortunately. And contrary to popular belief, most white women don't even have the luxury. God damn. Yeah, Mr. Z just said that. They don't. That don't have the luxury. And you don't have the luxury of ignorance either. You don't. Right? A whole lot of people are living the consequences of their ignorance, and yet, they think they can continue doing that and living that way. It's not sustainable. Living vicariously through these celebrities when your average income is $36,000 a year. What are you talking about? Right? And y'all give Mr. Z 1 second. And Toya says, wait, where Toya's coming though? But yet here we are. And yet here we are with the delusional, ignorant. And when I say ignorant, it's not the insult term ignorant. It's like not knowing ignorant, right? The actual definition of ignorant, right? And I know my background is windy because it's South Florida. So y'all give me a second. I'm trying to get to a place where y'all can actually hear me without the wind because, wind and rain, right? In South Florida, of course, right? But yeah, ignorance, delusion, excuse me, is a combustible mix. And not in this environment, right? Like stagflation, people. And the beauty of kind of my page right now is I kept on saying the rich people are trying to choke us out. I was saying I was saying it like this is not by accident. This is like on purpose, right? And then AB came to us with greedflation, right? Shout out to AB Media 83. Check his channel out. Subscribe, right? Give Mrs. Z 1 second. And then after we're back, and then after AB brought to us greedflation, and after I actually made the video, shout out to BGS for sending me that video in an email, right, of the professor the Italian professor speaking about austerity and how austerity is used on purpose to punish the working class, right? Then we get this dweeb, right? Excuse my background again. Then we get this dweeb who admits that they're trying to choke the working class out, right? Admits it, right? So in that environment, we have women, black women, speaking about that who's not on their level, etc., etc. Speaking about struggle love, speaking about black men are always the ones who told to settle. Why can't we just tell black men to step up? No. Now what? Right? Now what? Oh no, Toya, I haven't seen that yet. And Toya says, I hate to ask, but have y'all seen the vid of the black woman wearing blonde hair, side piece, fighting a man in a parking lot? Baby mom pulls up and lets the yep. Charleston stragflation. Oh, that was funny. Yeah, those prices are way too high. To what the older gentleman said? Too goddamn high. Right, and that's all, man. Like, I ain't gonna keep on beating a dead horse. Shout out to Tone Talks for this. Tone Talks coming with the numbers again. Some of the sisters coming with the BS again. That's just, she literally found a way to shoehorn loyalty into the conversation and building black men up, and then black men not leaving you essentially for a white woman. This insane. Oh, go ahead, Toya. And Toya says permission to post a link. Go ahead. This insane, hyperfixation with black men leaving you for a white woman. Like, dear black women, black men don't find white men that hyper attractive like that. I think you're projecting. Maybe you find white women that hyper, attractive. Or white men, for that matter. This idea of once a black man start earning 100, 120, 150,000, he's just gonna leave you for a white woman. Right? He's gonna be married to a black woman, forget just cheat on you. He literally is gonna do what homeboy did on Waiting to Excel. Just walk in the room and be like, oh, by the way, I'm leaving you for the white woman. You know how this goes. Come on, Keisha, you know how this goes. I started making $120,000 and 1 cent. And that is, the exact point at which every black man leaves black women for white women. You had me right up until I started making $100,000 and 1 cent. Right? They're gonna leave. If we build with them and if we build them, they're gonna leave us for white women. Black women, are you telling us what you would do to black men? Right? Knock, knock, knock. Chrissy. Crystalline Kerasin, are you telling us what you want to do to black men? Right? And to the brother who sent me the video of Yanni talking about pretty much putting the vagina on the table, and the brother sent her home with the vagina wet and the panties wet and did nothing. Listen, men don't. This whole he didn't want to mess up our friendship. BS. You put the vagina on the table and he ain't hit. He ain't interested. Ain't no. I don't want to ruin our friendship. Bull. That's not how men think. If you put the vagina on the table and we not on it or in it, that means we're not interested. Period. Period. I saw that video. Who shot yourself out? I saw it. Right? You know how they always try to make a romantic story out of that. Oh yeah, because you know he didn't want to ruin our friendship, and I was so hard and bothered and right? Stop, Trump. Right? Yeah, he's not interested. And dear Yenny, that's okay. That's gonna come with the territory too, ladies. Men not interested. Black men not interested. I told y'all be insufferable. Y'all think Mr. Z lying. You're gonna have homeboys, non-black men. You're gonna put the vagina on the table. You're gonna be making all the little eyes, right? The bedroom eyes and all the other stuff. And they're gonna be, What, you thought you're the only one that could put somebody in a friend zone? All right. Black women think they're the only ones. Women and black women think they're the only ones who could put somebody in a friend zone. Okay, watch this. And the difference is men speak about being in the friend zone. We have a term for it. It's called the friend zone. Women don't. They just start talking about men in general and men, black men and men. And really what it is you've been put in the friend zone. Trail. Oh my God. Woo! I'm not even going to highlight it. Yo. If you ever watch that cartoon, the chin is ridiculous. So the fact that you reference that. Oh, wow. Wow. Oh, man. Damn. But at the end of the day, look, about to come to a close. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Tone covered this, and I want to say this quote again. Because he's gonna edit the video, so I made sure to put this quote down just in case it doesn't play on the video because he edited it out. But he says, "The billionaire just told you," he's referring to Tyler Perry. "The billionaire just told you, the billionaire just told us, I just hope you're ready to be humbled when it's your turn." They just focused on black men. That doesn't mean they finished with them. Right? And I think it's important that we let that stew, right? Marinate on that. Ponder on that. Right? So, and I better you, I done met these women before. I've met them before. Absolutely. Y'all know I live in South Florida. Gorgeous black women, stunning Latinas, absolutely all that younger J-Lo look. I done met them. I've met them. Right? Oh, you said repeat that line? Tone says, the billionaire, referring to Tyler Perry, the billionaire just told us, I just hope you're ready to be humbled when it's your turn. Excuse me, I gotta read all of that all over again because I'm trying to read it smooth. The billionaire just told us, I just hope you're ready to be humbled when it's your turn. They're just focused on black men. That doesn't mean they finish with them. In other words, the days, whoever the days are, right? But as I said before, I've been in rooms and conversations with gorgeous Latinas, gorgeous black women, stunning. And when they start speaking, and they start speaking about the life they want to live. We don't even get to the man yet, and they start speaking about going out and this the restaurants, and you're like, oh boy, right? And that aspirationalism starts getting into insane territory. I'm not even going to say delusional, right? It just starts you see it just going up and up and up, and you're like, oh, woof. Shout out to the man that's just gonna eat that. And that's why they were swooning over the white dude that spent the $35,000 on the ring, on the engagement ring, or the wedding ring. I think it was engagement ring. And Cynthia G and her subscribers and her, her people over there. Yeah, this is the way it's supposed to be. Okay, all right. Of course. The world's supposed to center around them. Solipsism much? Right? So, that's what we have. That's, shout out to Tone Talks for this, you know, him, speaking to and being honest with the young lady, when she was like, well, essentially what she was getting at is what's stopping these men after we build them up from leaving us, particularly for a white woman. And Tone's immediate response was beautiful. That's what comes with egalitarianism. Dear lady, Garrett, once again, you're looking for a guarantee. Just like no man is guaranteed, that's why Mr. Z brought up my situation. I wasn't guaranteed to pipe just because I spent whatever money. Especially if we ain't have that like written down, which by the way is illegal. You're not guaranteed. I thought, wait a minute, one of y'all favorite damn songs from Mary J. Blige, Ain't Gonna Cry. Didn't she say, I know there ain't no guarantees? And love you, take your chances. I think she said that in the song. Did she not say that in the song? So y'all heard her say it 30 damn years ago and still don't get it? What? So y'all listen to the song, which is a fire ass song, by the way. The message is trash, but it's a fire ass song. Y'all listen to the song. You heard the song. You know the lyrics to the song. And yet you still didn't hear her say, I know there's no guarantees to this. Huh. There's no guarantees. We can't put bubble wrap around the entire world for you. We risk our lives, our health, once we wake up in the morning. Shit, maybe even if you go to sleep. Even when you sleep. Toya, I forgot the damn next part. You might have to type it. And Toya says, they only focus on the next part, Z. I forgot it. But there we go. But somehow it seems unfair to me. Yeah, look at the circumstances. Through sickness or health. Yeah, death to a part. Okay, I remember. Yeah. I love that damn song, by the way. Dope ass song. Horrible message. Yeah, you're right. Toya. Yeah, you're right. But somehow it seems unfair to me. But wait a minute, Toya. Wait a minute. Who files for the majority of divorces in America? Who files for the majority of divorces in the black community? By a margin. So who's leaving who And who is it truly unfair to if we're speaking about fairness? If we want to speak about fairness, it's going to get real ugly for black women real fast. Because if we start speaking about fairness, forget just the intimacy stuff. Let's start talking about schooling and education and resources and where and who they're allocated to. Oh, it's going to get real ugly real fast. Trell said, "Now I got the hook stuck in my head, bro. It's a dope ass song. It's a fire song. Hit you right in the feels. It is a fire song. Trash message, absolutely trash, absolutely complete dumpster fire of a message. But fire song hits you right in the feels. Perfect song for that movie." Perfect song for that movie. Absolutely perfect. Right? And Whitney had songs for the movie too, but that song right there, that's the song right there. And thank you for that, Toyo, for the other part of that line. Exactly, but somehow it seems unfair to me. And when she said, "Look at the circumstances," and then spoke, through sickness and health, through death, through this part. Yeah, but who files for divorces in Black America? Who files for the majority of divorces? Hey, that's the worst way, dear black men, dear all you young brothers. I know y'all heard this before, but just in case you haven't, if you hear this, prepare thyself. And Indigo Flow says, "I just think it's funny how." Oh man, if the sentence starts like that, to all you under 25-year-olds, prepare thyself. Right? And Toya says, "I don't get that part." Exactly. She did say that at the end. And Earth says she don't get that part. Hey, you realize we got a whole bunch of grown ass men that know this song like word for word? That means either our mothers or older sisters were torturing us with this goddamn song as children. Still dope ass song, by the way. There's a whole lot of dope ass simp music, bro. There's a whole lot of dope trash message music. R&B? Oh man. You literally say there's no fairness in this game, but my feelings. And it would have been completely different. And it is completely different when it's the other way around and women are filing for divorce and they're the ones leaving. So from Mary J. Blige, we have "Ain't Gonna Cry." And from Boys to Men, we have "I'm Doing Just Fine." Oh. So men and women singing to each other how "you ain't ish." No, you ain't ish. Well, you left me. No, you left me. Dear black women, you left. You're the one who left. And Clay Bigsby says, "Not mom or sister, ex-wife." Jeez, when she was playing it in the background. Jeez. And Indigo Flow says, "Oh, that joint got heavy airplay on contemporary R&B radio. LOL." What was that? 96, 97? I don't remember the exact year. Right? Probably. Right? But shout out to Tone. Tone said, "Fine, if y'all are over here speaking about this man woman dating pop gossip celebrity crap, that includes Mr. Z to a certain extent. If we're gonna be honest, then I'll just inject the numbers in this conversation." Well, I was doing that too, Tone, but you're way better at it. So thank you. Ideal, Get Gone, one of my favorite songs. Shout out to Indigo Flow. Ideal, Get Gone. That was a dope song. If you haven't heard it, listen to it. By the way, there were a whole lot of these smaller R&B groups in the 90s and the early aughts that had a one or two song hit run, right? One or two songs. We're not talking about the Boys to Men or the Drew Hills or the New Editions who really came out of the 80s, but yeah. Or was it this even it was the 80s, right? There were a bunch of these little groups, We're not talking about Next or Jagged Edge or anything like that, but the Ideal, yeah. That Get Going, yeah. And they had a song called Creep In also, which was kind of dope. All right. Silk. Whew. Silk is still Silk is still that ish, right? Which member didn't they have a member? Which member passed recently? Or am I mistaken? Or am I mistaking them for H Town? Because I know one of the members of H Town passed not too long ago. Right? I'm not wishing that on y'all, Silk, if nobody passed. My bad. Knock on wood. But I know for sure that one of the members of H Town passed. But I'm not 100% sure about Silk. And if I'm wrong about that, knock on wood. Right? Yeah. Shout out to Passport OG. Passport OG says, how many high school pregnancies came from Freak Me Baby? Bruh, if those were the most explicit goddamn lyrics ever, the most explicit lyrics, the beat was on point, slow and deliberate. I'm like, bro, y'all just tried. And that's why we called it baby making music. Right? Oh man. Okay, my bad. Then we will retract that statement about the brothers from Silk. I don't wish that on any of them, right? And John Joe says didn't hear anything about the members from Silk. Okay, okay, all right. So yeah, that was definitely the era. And see, we're no longer in like the Ron Isley brothers era when they're talking about knock knock open up, and we know what they talking about. Or well, better yet, we ain't know what they was talking about, or at least for younger extras maybe that might have been around that time, or older extras. Well, maybe older extras, more older extras, where they didn't really get it, but obviously their parents did. No, by the time you get to 90s R&B, right? So yeah. And on that note, look, we done went way off, way off. Shout out to Tone Talks. Thank y'all for listening. Like I said, we might cover this again tomorrow. Because Tone will actually repost the video. And y'all check it out. I'm gonna link it in the description when he edits it and post it. Um, but yeah, it's important that we start speaking about these relationships and the numbers and the money. And I think we've been doing that. So let me don't say it like we haven't been doing that. But get real in the nitty gritty with it, right? John Joe says, please cover this tomorrow. Okay, all right, right. My Simpin Ain't Easy playlist. Rainfire Designs, hysterical. And like, hey, if you are in a relationship with a woman, you know, is it okay to like? I had progress, like my playlist progressed as whatever situation I was in with that individual woman progressed, right? So you had the smooth hip hop playlist. So I didn't hit R&B from the jump. I was smooth hip hop playlist. So smooth hip hop playlist consisted of Rick Ross, Maybach Music, 1 through 3. What are the songs? ASAP Rocky, All Grown Up, because it's about the instrumental. And you have it low up because the women ain't really paying attention to the lyrics anyway. So, he has a song called All Grown Up, songs like that, right? What It Look Like, Currency and Wale, songs like that, which is like a real smooth, some Larry June, right? Some smooth hip hop type thing, right? That's what my kind of first date playlist would consist of, right? Even though he was really talking about some gangster stuff, but Rick Ross, Mafia Music 1 type thing, right? The music like that, real smooth. Um, Young OG from Fabulous, stuff like that. The Life Fabulous, right? So that type of, so that was the first date playlist with music like that, and then we would progress maybe on the third or fourth date because that playlist was long as hell. Because rappers have been rapping over smooth beats forever. Droopy, which is E40's son, if I'm not mistaken, had a couple of songs I thought was kind of dope. I don't think his rapping was, whatever, but that I thought was kind of dope, and I had a couple of his songs on the playlist. A couple of that playlist is actually pretty damn long, actually. Um, I might actually have it unlocked in my playlist. I'll check. I might unlock it if it's locked in my playlist, right? Cushion Oil. Toya, what you know about Wiz? Definitely. Okay, Wiz Khalifa was definitely on the playlist too, of course. Cushion Orange Juice. Toya, what you know? Right? Wiz Khalifa was definitely on the playlist. Currency and Wiz Khalifa. What that mixtape that they had? They had a couple of joints. Because by the way, getting high music could double as first date music a lot of times, and Mr. Z doesn't smoke, so there you go. Trell. Oh, this is why Trell is like the funniest person in my comments. And Trell says, Project Pat Gorilla Pimp. Gorilla Pimp was definitely not on the playlist. Oh man, hysterical. Oh, that was funny. Oh man, no, Toya's right. Cushion Orange Juice, right? Never Been. Not Never Been 2. Never Been 2, the bass line was too hard. Pause. But yeah. Never Been is definitely one. Mesmerize was another one. Yeah, like music like that, right? Definitely How Fly. Whew. By the way, I already told y'all Currency is like Mr. Z's favorite rapper, right? I'm not saying he's the best rapper. I didn't say that, but he's definitely my favorite rapper. I think I probably have listened to every single mixtape, at least one go around, right? Um, Definitely the most listened to person I've listened to ever, right? Yeah. easily, easily, right? Yeah, definitely, definitely. And Mr. Z doesn't smoke. It never has, right? So there you go, right? So yeah, 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 yeah. Um, definitely, and it's very. And Currency has a whole lot of obviously get high music. I mean, duh. And yeah, a lot of that music doubles as like first date music. Hey, oh, by the way, another song that's on the playlist: Currency, Friends and Foe, Friends or Foe, Friend or Foe, Friend or Foe, Friend or Foe. That instrumental, the way the woman says "friend or foe." Oh man, right? That there's just so many. Um I can't even tell y'all how many smooth ass songs that brother has. It's just insane. It's insane, right? So yeah, that's first date playlist, and then obviously like by the time we get to third date, that's when the R&B comes out because Mr. Z is trying to send a message, and yeah, right. But if I was Trell, I'd be trying to send another message. Trell said Gorilla Pill. Which, thank you, Trump, because guess what I gotta listen to when I get off streaming with you guys? That song was too. It's too much. It was too heavy, right? And Trail says "Twist to Get You Wet." Like that's too heavy. And Plies and Pleasure P from um Pretty Ricky, they had another song called "Get You Wet," and like that was way too heavy of a song. That's when you want to really get on some freak shit and like, but that you can't do that third date necessarily. That's a little bit later, right? But yeah, yeah. Not F you, don't want you back. Which, by the way, I heard he wrote that song in like high school or something or middle school, right? Yeah. Verde Terrence, yeah. As a matter of fact, his song J.O.B. was really that's another song, right? By the way, J.O.B. means, excuse my language, jets over bitches, right? But the instrumental and how smooth it is, right? Yeah. Nas, you owe me something. See, Nas, you owe me something. It's too funny. Funny, Mr. Z is gonna say this. It's too on the nose. I want to say no pun intended so much, but it actually kind of is pun intended. Nas, you owe me something. That's just way too on the nose, right? Bink, bink. When you're done, I'm gonna just leave that there, right? But yeah, Toya says mesmerized was my ish. Yo, yeah, 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 yeah. There's so much. I think Justice League, Harry Fraud, and Harry Fraud not even black. Harry Fraud. There's people that they their production is like you might as well just the rapper rapping over the beat is important too. So Wiz rapping over those beats is important. Currency rapping over those beats. Rick Ross rapping over those beats. Even um OJ, right? With Jeezy, Fab, and Jadakiss, right? Dope. That production was beautiful. That's another song, right? Biggie, I'm effing you tonight, too on the nose, right? Way too on the nose, right? Exactly. So La Musica, Harry, right? Exactly. Yeah. Alchemist. Mm, yes, but every time I think of Alchemist, I think of Essence. I think every time I think Alchemist and production, I think about Deluxe, right? I'm telling you that JOB that if you haven't heard Currency J.O.B. Man, that production, it's real simple, by the way. I'm not saying it's a crazy production, but it's smooth. Check out Currency, Friend or Foe, smooth, right? Oh, how did Mr. Z forget that? Was it Devil in a Red Dress or Devil in a Red Dress? Rick Ross? What's the name of that joint again? Let's make sure Z give y'all the right title for this. So I don't have y'all out here looking for the wrong song. Give me 1 second. Right? Yeah, Devil in a New Dress. Devil in a New Dress. Man, if that isn't one of the quintessential first date smooth um songs, that all the songs on Cigarette Boats from Currency, all of them. It's a short track list too. I think it's only like 3 or 4 songs. You can play all of those also, right? Yeah. Sure, do you want to ride? I mean, I'm not gonna lie and say Mr. Z did not pick up a chick playing that with the windows down and the T top off. This is another 300ZX I had years ago. So yeah, I've done it, Trill. I've definitely played that. All right, play your part. You mean the Wale, Meek Mills, and Rick Ross play your part? Yeah, that song is smooth. Yeah, yeah, that song and play your part. By the way, talk about song that hit that's on the nose. Dear ladies, play your part. Message. Right? Yeah, yeah. Toya, yeah, yeah, yeah. Play your part, yeah. Message. If you haven't heard "Play Your Part," I think it's Wale's song. I think, or was that on Self Made? And it wasn't either one of their songs individually. But dear ladies, play your part. Message. Rick Ross, Wale, and Meek Mill. I'm just saying. I mean, the title speaks for itself, and if you listen to the song, I mean, yeah, right? Okay, Toya said it was on Self Made. Yeah, yep. Self Made Volume 2. Thank you. Right? Okay, Mr. Z is good. Okay, we're gonna have to have the music, hip hop, um, different environment, different setting music. Okay, so Toya started off with the conversation a couple of weeks ago with Annie Up and Nuck If You Buck. And then I continued just now with the dating playlist and music and smooth. So I guess we're gonna have to do a stream speaking about different hip hop music for different environments, right? Okay, fine. We'll do it. Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it. Put that on a list of streams Mr. Z has to do, right? Design Arts is one of the self-made volume 1. Was it on self-made 1 or 2? Right? Either way. This I'm telling you, hip hop music, and I didn't do a 50-year hip hop celebration. I don't think I know enough, to be frank with you. I would have to bring in Art New Style for that and a couple of the elders because I don't know enough. I admit it, like I don't know enough. Right? So anxious. Yep. So anxious. Jodeci, Drew Hill. We can't even go through R&B. R&B, it's just too, and hip hop too, that's true too, but it's too expansive for like date and trying to woo a woman and having the R&B singer tell her what you really want to say while it's played in the background and you in the car, man, or you at the crib. It's, you know, yeah. Lord, listen, not R. Kelly and Nick Cannon. The second I read what you wrote, the hook instantly hit me in the it just, and I haven't heard that song in I don't know a decade. And the second I read it, I the hook just hit me. Boom. Gigolo by R. Kelly and Nick Cannon. Uh yeah, yeah, Tori, that's what I'm saying. I don't know enough. I don't know enough. Right. And Indigo says, I got you, Z. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna have to do that stream. I'm gonna have to do that stream. We're gonna speak about hip hop, different environments, what you play, when, where, the song that was hot during this era, or the the different eras of we had the crunk era, we had the, like we were saying before, we had the Waka Flocka and kind of hip hop headbanger era, right? We're currently, I mean, are we still living through the drill era, right? We had the snap era, right? I want to say we're living through what, the raunchy woman era. If y'all want to clean it up a little bit, let's say the raunchy woman era. If y'all don't want to sound as crass as we could sound about, yeah, I know what y'all gonna say in the comments. Y'all go ahead, but we could call it the raunchy woman era right now. Yeah. So we definitely could. Oh yeah, 18th is big on music too. Yeah, 18th, you definitely welcome. I gotta do that stream, right? I gotta do that stream, right? Yeah, Mr. Shook, to you, good point. The 90s was fantastic because you still had regional sounds. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Right. Auto tune, yeah. And Charles says to strip a bitch to strip a bitches. I mean, yeah, yeah, true, true, right? And just the different, if we could talk about, like in South Florida for the most part, some of the Midwestern stuff, like when D12, like we don't play D12 stuff down here like that, right? But like from my understanding, when you get to the Midwest, Ohio and stuff, they play in D12. When I looked up some of their music a few years ago, it had millions of views for it, and I'm like, I don't know anybody that was listening to D12, but somebody was, right? But Bone Thugs got heavy played down here, right? So it just depends, right? Do or Die, less so, right? But Do or Die got some play down here, but not as much as Bone Thugs, right? So it all depends. Different regional sound, like Mr. Shook to use different regional sounds and what get play where, and Texas is almost its own ecosystem, right? I would I would argue California too, but less so, right? So yeah, there's definitely you know different regional sound. Well, at that point, it was different regional sounds, but now everything is everywhere. British grime music, British drill music. You got you got sounds like that coming from Australia. I kid you not, right? I kid you not. And you better believe Mr. Z was listening to Krypton Conan. Yes, yes, I was. Right? And Fredo. Yep. I don't even think Fredo's black. I'm talking about the Fredo from Britain, by the way, for those of you that don't know. Right? And Gigs, and yeah. And Dave. Yeah. So, you know, when it comes to this music thing and this hip hop and rap and yeah, different environments, different sounds, You know, that's one thing that's going to be missed as this thing, you know. Oh yeah, no, we definitely listen to Project Pat down here in South Florida. Yeah, we did Project Pat, 3 6 Mafia. That was getting heavy rotation. All those songs. Sipping on some scissor with yeah. UGK got heavy rotation down here in South Florida too, right? So yeah, those yeah. Yeah, yeah. The Project Pat, yeah, he definitely yes. We were listening to that heavy, yeah. You know. And I remember who was I spoke to someone. What state were they from? And I asked them before Rick Ross. It was Trick Daddy getting heavy play, and was it North Carolina? I want to say it was from one of the Carolinas. Because I know Ross got heavy rotation around the country, but I asked if Trick before that in the 90s and definitely the early aughts. They were like, yeah, right. But yeah, some artists are more regional, right? Some artists are more regional. You know, T-Pain's from Florida also. Plaza's from Florida also. You know, Flo Rida clearly his name is from Florida also. You know, so yeah. Mr. Shook to You says Chicago was playing Trick Daddy heavy in the 90s. So pretty much the anthem of South Florida is Trick Daddy's, excuse my language, Can't Fuck with the South. If you haven't heard it yet, Trick Daddy's Can't Fuck with the South is the anthem for South Florida, but particularly Miami-Dade County. You play that in any club, even right now, but especially in the early aughts, oh my God, you tore the club up. You tore the club up. That song, shoot. Right? That yeah, it was just a different yeah. I don't know how much it gets played now in the clubs, but yeah. A decade ago, shoot. In the early aughts, we talk about 05, 2000, definitely 2007, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. I remember that. And then 18 letters says, Mr. Z, Project Pat Take the Charge, got resurrected on TikTok by suburban white kids. Yeah. The Memphis Gangsta Walk. Yeah, I remember that. T-Pain. D-Pain, hysterical. Right. And on that note, look at that. We 2 hours in, everybody. We were having a whole party over here. We'll end out here. Y'all like, share, subscribe. And we will cover this again tomorrow, probably. Let me see. Did Tony even drop the whole video yet? Edited, because he he did an hour ago. So I'm gonna watch it again, and I will put down my notes, and we will cover that tomorrow morning, most likely. So, for me, let's say I'm probably gonna cover this 6:40-ish my time. So yeah, 6:40-ish Eastern time, right? Which is about 5:40-ish Central time. So we will be covering this. I probably am going to have notes, and we will go through a little bit more detail than we did tonight. And yeah, and once again, shout out to Tone Talks for his great stream to me. And Tone started using a little bit of profanity, Yeah. And on that note, everyone, right? Yeah, and that's why. Yeah, 18th, you got to be there for the hip hop conversation, man. And Indigo, first of all, I've been waiting to get on you, Indigo. Wait a minute. I see Indigo be popping up on other people's channels. I'm like, oh, this nigga be in my comments. He'll super chat every once in a while. This nigga will never pop up in my video, in my streams, right? 18, check out my it's in my description. Right? I'm like, wait a minute. I feel like a scorned black woman. Right? Hold up. So you just gonna be popping up on other nigga streams and you're gonna pop up on Mr. Z stream? Hold up. Right? Feel like one of these sisters that's still holding on to high school. Right? And on that note, everyone, we got the jokes. Right? And on that note, we'll close out here. Y'all have a great Mr. Z laughing to himself. I cracked myself up. Y'all have a great rest of y'all night. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content. I think Art New Style is streaming right now, so let me hurry up and move out of his way. Other non-Manosphere content, for the love of God. Actually, I gotta share the video that Big Kev tagged me in, so I'm literally gonna share that like right now. Yeah, y'all go check out other non-Manosphere content, like what I'm gonna share in like 2 minutes. And yeah, for the love of God, so y'all don't sound like some of these delusional ass people and they're insane. Anyway, they're insane, air quotes, standards. Okay, whatever. And on that note, we will pause right here. Y'all have a great rest of y'all night. All right, Mr. Z out.